La flota humana aparece en el frente de guerra y aniquila al enemigo al instante. The war had lasted longer than anyone could remember. For decades, humans had fought from the shadows, quietly building their fleets and their strength. On the front lines, the coalition forces, made up of different alien races and a few human volunteers, struggled to hold back the enemy. The alien empire they faced was merciless. Its ships were fast, its weapons deadly, and its commanders clever. Every day felt like a fight against hopelessness. In the middle of the shattered star system called Virex, the coalition fleet hovered cautiously. Ships of all sizes floated silently among the debris of destroyed planets and asteroids. The hulls of some vessels were scorched from recent battles. Fires burned on a few surfaces, and smoke trailed into the vacuum of space. For the human captains in the coalition, it was a scene that made them feel small, yet they could not leave. Retreat was not an option. The enemy had blocked every exit. John Carter, a human captain, stood on the bridge of the coalition cruiser Horizon. He watched the main view screen that showed the remains of a moon. The surface had been torn apart by a massive energy weapon. Shattered rock and metal floated in every direction. John rubbed his face with tired hands. His hair was dark, streaked with gray, and his eyes were weary from months without sleep. "We can't hold them much longer," he said quietly. The voice carried through the bridge, but nobody replied. Everyone was too focused on their own stations, checking shields, scanning for enemy ships, and preparing weapons. Lisa Morrow, a young officer, stood near John. She was calm, almost too calm. She had learned long ago that panic did not help in battle. Lisa had been on the front lines since she was very young. Her family had been lost in an earlier conflict, and she carried that pain silently. Her eyes scanned the sensors, trying to detect any hint of movement. "They are coming again," she said. Her voice was low but clear. "I can feel it. Something is different this time." The crew of the Horizon exchanged worried looks. Many had fought the enemy before. They knew how fast the aliens could attack. But Lisa's words carried a strange weight. It was not fear they felt. It was uncertainty. Something was changing in the darkness of space, and nobody knew what it could be. On the other side of the fleet, Captain Alex Turner of the cruiser Sentinel stood by the navigation console. He was taller than most, with broad shoulders and a steady voice. Alex had a reputation for being brave, almost reckless, but always successful. He checked the trajectory of the fleet's movement through the asteroid field. The enemy often used debris to hide and strike without warning. "Keep your eyes open," Alex said to the crew. "They will come from the shadows. And we must be ready." The coalition fleet's ships were smaller and weaker than the enemy's vessels. Every day they lost a few ships, and every day hope grew dimmer. Commander Ryan Cole, a human strategist, paced the command room of the fleet's flagship. Ryan had short brown hair, sharp eyes, and a mind that never rested. He looked at the holographic map that floated above the table. It showed the enemy positions, the coalition's damaged ships, and the remaining supplies. "We are cornered," he said. "If they attack in full force, we will be destroyed." Jack Hill, one of the younger pilots, leaned against the wall. He was nervous, tapping his fingers on his helmet. "Why is it always like this?" he muttered. "We fight, we lose, we barely survive, and nobody even knows if more humans will come to help us." He had heard stories about humanity's absence. For years, humans had stayed away from the front lines, quietly observing, training, and preparing. The coalition had grown used to their absence. Many had started to believe that humans were gone from the galaxy, or worse, that they had given up. The alien empire's scouts appeared near the edge of the system. They were fast, sleek, and silent. The coalition's sensors detected them almost too late. The alien ships glimmered in the faint light of a distant sun, like dark knives cutting through the void. The fleet braced for another attack. John Carter's hand hovered near the emergency weapons button. Lisa Morrow focused on the incoming signals, her fingers moving quickly across the console. She had a feeling deep inside that this was not like before. Suddenly the aliens paused. They did not attack immediately. Instead, they formed a wide semicircle around the coalition fleet. Their weapons glowed with energy, ready to fire. The tension on the horizon was so thick that it felt like it could be cut with a knife. "Why aren't they attacking?" whispered one of the crew members. The silence answered them more loudly than words could. It was unnatural. Ryan Cole leaned over the map. "Something is wrong," he said. "They are not acting like themselves. Normally, they strike quickly and without hesitation. Now they wait." The crew exchanged uncertain glances. Even the aliens seemed confused. Their sensors were detecting something they did not understand. Far away, at the edge of the system, strange sensor blips appeared on the coalition's instruments. They were big, fast, and moving in formation. Nobody had seen anything like it before. "What is that?" asked Jack Hill, his voice trembling slightly. He had flown in hundreds of battles, but this was new. Lisa Morrow focused her eyes on the readings. "I don't know," she said slowly, "but it's huge. And it's coming fast." Alex Turner's face tightened. He checked the data again. "His readings, they look like warships, but not like any human or alien ships we know." The entire command room grew quiet. The fleet could feel the tension in the air. Something enormous was about to arrive. Suddenly, without warning, the ships appeared. Massive human warships emerged from fold space. They were sleek, powerful, and perfectly aligned. The sight was breathtaking. Every crew member on every ship of the Coalition fleet froze, unable to believe what they were seeing. It was as if humanity itself had come from nowhere to stand beside them. John Carter felt his heart race. He could not speak at first. The ships were immense, with designs that were unfamiliar, yet strangely familiar. Their hulls glowed faintly with energy, and their weapons were visible, loaded, and ready. It can't be," he whispered. Lisa Morrow looked at him. "It is," she said. Her voice carried both relief and awe. The Alien Empire scouts reacted quickly. They sent messages to their commanders reporting what they saw. "Unknown human vessels," they said. "They are massive. They are heavily armed. We have no record of this." Confusion spread among the alien fleet. Their intelligence had been wrong for years. They thought humans were weak, scattered, and disorganized. Now, everything they believed was a lie. On the horizon, John Carter gave an order. "Prepare for contact, but do not fire. Let them act first." The Coalition fleet held its breath. Every pilot, every soldier, every crew member waited. They had fought for survival for decades, but now hope was coming from the most unexpected place. The new human ships moved silently, forming a perfect line at the front of the Coalition fleet. Their presence was commanding. It was not aggressive at first, but it was undeniable. Even the alien scouts hesitated to fire. Something about these humans told them that the next moments could be their last. Jack Hill could hardly believe his eyes. Are they here to help us?" he whispered. Lisa Morrow nodded, but she did not speak. She was already calculating the possibilities in her mind. If these were human ships, the war might be over before it began. The Alien Empire's main fleet began to retreat slightly, confused by the sudden arrival. Their commanders tried to understand the situation, sending more scouts, more messages. "Identify them!" one of the alien leaders shouted, but no answer came. The human ships did not communicate. They simply appeared, like a force of nature, ready to strike. John Carter felt a surge of hope he had not felt in years. He looked at his crew and said, "We are not alone. Humanity is returned." The word spread through the fleet like fire. Pilots straightened in their seats. Officers checked their weapons, but their fear had begun to fade. Something greater had come to stand with them. As the human ships took position, Lisa Morrow noticed something strange. Their movements were precise, almost mechanical, but also coordinated with intelligence. "They know exactly what they are doing," she said. "Every ship, every formation, it's perfect." Ryan Cole studied the displays. "These humans have prepared for this moment," he said. "For decades, maybe longer. They stayed quiet for a reason. And now they are here." The Alien Empire had never faced anything like this. They had underestimated humans for too long. Their attacks had been brutal, but now they were uncertain. Every commander, every soldier, every pilot could feel the shift. The galaxy was changing, and it was happening faster than anyone could imagine. John Carter watched as the human ships advanced slowly. They did not fire yet. Their presence alone was enough to shake the enemy. "We might survive this," he said quietly, almost to himself. "We might actually survive." Jack Hill laughed softly, a sound of disbelief. "After all this time, humans are back." And just in time. He looked at the massive fleet, the line of ships that seemed unstoppable. "I've never seen anything like it." "Neither have they," she said. She watched the alien fleet hesitate. "And they will pay for underestimating us." The Coalition ships formed behind the humans, ready to follow their lead. For the first time in years, the soldiers felt something they had almost forgotten. Hope. The war was far from over, but something had shifted. Humanity had returned. And with them, the tide of war might finally turn. Far away in the darkness of space, the enemy commanders tried to send reinforcements. But the new human ships were faster, stronger, and smarter than anything they had faced. Every calculation they made was already wrong. Every plan they had was about to fail, and nobody knew it yet. But soon, the galaxy would witness a force unlike any other. The human fleet moved forward slowly, but with a power that seemed unstoppable. Every ship glided through space as if it belonged there, calm yet deadly. The Coalition fleet followed behind, keeping a careful distance, unsure of what the humans would do next. For the first time in decades, the Coalition felt relief, but it was mixed with awe and fear. Humans had always been strong, but this was something different. Captain John Carter of the Horizon could hardly keep his eyes off the massive human ships. He leaned on the railing of the bridge, trying to understand the scale of what he was seeing. "It's like a wall," he whispered to Lisa Morrow beside him. "They aren't just ships. They are a line we cannot break. Nothing can stop them." Lisa nodded. She had studied military strategy for years, and yet nothing in her knowledge matched what was happening. "They are moving like they know every move the enemy will make," she said. "It's perfect coordination." On the other side of the battlefield, the alien empire's commander scrambled. The sudden arrival of humans had shattered their confidence. Commander Varkon, a tall alien with gray skin and multiple eyes, banged his claw on the control console. "This cannot be," he shouted. "Our intelligence was correct." "Humans are weak, Scattered. How can this be happening?" His second-in-command, a smaller alien named Drex, tried to calm him. "They are advanced, yes," Drex said, "but we still have numbers. If we attack together, we can push them back." Varkon shook his head. "We do not understand them. They are not like anything we have faced. Every ship moves with thought, with intelligence. Their weapons... I can feel the danger. If we attack wrong, it is over in minutes." Back with the Coalition, Captain Alex Turner of the Sentinel watched the human fleet closely. His hands rested on the console, and he could feel a strange excitement building. "Look at them," he said quietly. "They are not just ships. They are alive. Every move is calculated, every strike prepared." The first human ship, a massive vessel named the Valerian, fired its weapons. The shot was unlike anything the Coalition had seen before. Instead of simple energy blasts, the weapon released a wave of concentrated force. It tore through the enemy scout ships like a knife through cloth. The aliens had no time to react. Ships exploded, debris spinning into space. The Coalition gasped. The humans had not fired to threaten, they fired to destroy. Jack Hill, piloting a small Coalition fighter, felt his stomach twist with excitement and fear. "That was instantaneous," he muttered over the comms. "We've never seen power like that. None of our weapons do this." Emma Brooks, a young human officer on the bridge of another human ship, observed the battlefield calmly. She gave orders to her crew with precision. "Fire in sequence. Target their command vessels first. Do not waste shots on the smaller ships unless necessary." Her voice was steady, confident. Her hands moved across the controls like a conductor directing an orchestra. Every crew member followed her lead without question. The alien command ships tried to respond. Their weapons fired, bright streaks of energy aimed at the human fleet. But it was too late. Every attack was anticipated, every move was countered. Human shields absorbed the fire. Human weapons destroyed the attackers before they could reach their targets. The aliens began to panic. Varkon growled in frustration. "Pull back! Pull back!" he ordered. But even as he spoke, his fleet was falling apart. Human weapons struck again and again, hitting command centers, engines, and weapon systems. The aliens could not form a proper line. Their fleet began to scatter, confused and terrified. On the horizon, John Carter felt a mixture of disbelief and relief. "It's happening so fast," he said. "The humans... they are ending this in moments. We thought it would take years." Lisa Morrow looked at him, her eyes wide. "They are not just ending the battle. They are teaching the aliens a lesson they will never forget." The human fleet moved like a single entity. Ships were positioned to cover every angle. Smaller vessels flanked the edges, while the massive command ships stayed in the center. Each strike was precise, destroying enemy ships without wasting energy. The aliens were forced to retreat further, but there was nowhere to run. The humans had cut off every escape route. Jack Hill flew his fighter near a human ship, observing their speed. "They are faster than anything I've ever seen," he said into the comms. "They dodge, they strike. It's like they are predicting every move." Ryan Cole, watching the holographic map of the battlefield, realized something important. "This is not just power," he said quietly. "This is intelligence. They are using everything they have learned for decades to make every shot count. They are ending the war before it even truly begins. The alien Empire's soldiers tried to rally. Small groups of fighters attempted to attack the humans from different angles, but it was useless. Each group was destroyed before they could get close. The humans moved like shadows, striking without warning, disappearing before the aliens could fight back. Captain Alex Turner noticed something on his console. "They are not even communicating with the Coalition," he said. "They do not need to. Their actions speak louder than words." On the alien side, Varkon's multiple eyes glowed with anger and fear. "We must call reinforcements," he hissed. "We cannot let these humans destroy us here. Send messages to the outer fleets. Tell them to bring everything. Bring all the ships." Drex, his second-in-command, shook his head. "It will not matter," he said softly. "Even if they bring everything, the humans are too strong, too fast, too precise." Meanwhile, the humans continued their attack. Massive explosions lit up space, illuminating the broken planets and floating debris. Each strike was like a hammer hitting an enemy's weak point. The aliens' morale collapsed. Pilots fled, command ships were destroyed, and the lines of the fleet disintegrated. Emma Brooks gave a final order. "Target the last command vessels. Finish this." Human weapons fired once more, powerful beams tearing through the alien ships. With a massive explosion, the alien leaders' ships were destroyed. The remaining fleet scattered in panic. John Carter felt a surge of hope he had never known. "It's done," he said, barely believing it. "The enemy? They're gone." Lisa Morrow smiled faintly. "Gone for now," she said. "But the message is clear. Humanity is back. And we are not weak. We are not slow. We are not easy to defeat." The Coalition fleet slowly moved closer to the humans. Ships that had once been weary and broken now felt renewed. For the first time in decades, they could breathe without fear. The humans had changed everything. Jack Hill landed his fighter near the horizon. His hands shook as he climbed out. I don't know what to say," he said. "I've never seen anything like it. We've been fighting forever, thinking we were doomed, and now this." Ryan Cole nodded. "They are not just ships," he said. "They are a symbol, a warning, a promise. We can survive. We can win. And we can trust humans to lead us when needed." Far away, scattered alien ships fled into space carrying news of the human fleet's arrival. The alien empire would never forget this day. They had underestimated humanity for centuries. Now they knew the cost of that mistake. John Carter looked at the human fleet. Their ships were perfectly aligned, still moving as one, still ready for any threat. "Who are these people?" he whispered. "Not just humans, something more." Lisa Morrow nodded. "They are what we hoped humans could be. Strong, smart, and unstoppable when they need to be. And now, they are here to fight." Alex Turner smiled faintly, watching the destruction of the alien fleet from his console. "It's just the beginning," he said. "We will show the galaxy what humanity is capable of, one battle at a time if necessary." The battlefield was quiet now. The smoke of destroyed ships drifted in space. The Coalition fleet floated among the debris, stunned and amazed. Humans had arrived, and in a single wave of power, they had changed the war forever. Emma Brooks turned to her crew. "We must stay ready," she said. "The war is not over. But we have reminded them why humans are not to be underestimated. This is only the first step." Jack Hill looked at the horizon, feeling a strange mix of fear and hope. "I've seen the end of the battle," he said softly. "And I've seen the future. If humans fight like this, nothing can stop them." John Carter felt a sense of relief he had never known. For years he had feared the end, but now he could see a way forward. Humanity was back. The galaxy would never be the same again. And in the silence of space, the new human fleet moved forward, ready for whatever came next. The alien fleet was in chaos, their ships scattered in all directions, engines burning, weapons firing in panic, but nothing could stop the humans. Every move they tried to make was anticipated, every strike they attempted was destroyed before it even left their launchers. The humans did not just fight. They controlled the battlefield. Captain John Carter of the Horizon could hardly believe his eyes. "It's happening so fast," he said quietly, almost to himself. "They are not just fighting, they are ending this." Lisa Morrow, standing beside him, nodded. Her eyes were fixed on the view screen. The alien ships were exploding, one after another. "It's not just their weapons," she said. "It's their strategy. Every move they make is calculated. They are ending the war in minutes. On the Valerian, one of the largest human ships, Captain Ethan Ross stood on the bridge. He was calm, giving orders with confidence. "Target the remaining command vessels," he said. "Do not let any of them escape. Make it complete." His crew followed without question. The smaller alien command ships tried to flee, but the humans had already calculated their routes. Guided missiles streaked through space faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. One by one, the command ships were destroyed. Explosions lit up the darkness, debris spinning through the void. Alex Turner watched from the Sentinel. "Look at that," he said to his crew. "They are precise. Perfect. Every ship, every weapon, every strike is calculated." "It's almost terrifying." Jack Hill flew his small fighter close to the battle, observing. He had seen many battles in his time, but nothing like this. "They are not just attacking," he said into his comm. "They are controlling the battlefield like it belongs to them. Every alien ship that moves is already dead before it can act. The aliens were desperate now." Commander Varkon barked orders, but his voice carried only panic. "Form a line! Attack together! Strike the humans before they destroy everything!" But it was too late. The human fleet moved like a single organism. Massive warships struck first, destroying engines and weapons. Smaller, faster ships moved in behind, cutting off escape routes and destroying any remaining fighters. The aliens tried to regroup, but every attempt failed. Ryan Cole, observing the battle from the Coalition's command ship, realized something important. "They are not just winning," he said quietly. "They are showing what happens when humans fight without limits. This is not just a victory, it's a lesson." On the horizon, John Carter turned to Lisa Morrow. "Do you think they will stop?" he asked. Lisa shook her head. "Not until every threat is gone," she said. "That's what humans do. They don't fight half measures. They end it completely." The alien fleet's morale collapsed entirely. Pilots abandoned their posts, leaving ships drifting in space. Commanders were killed in their command vessels. Chaos spread faster than any attack could. Every ship left without guidance became a target for the humans. Emma Brooks gave a final order on her ship. "Sweep the battlefield. Make sure no command vessel escapes. Every ship must be destroyed or disabled. Finish this cleanly." Her crew worked efficiently, following the order without hesitation. They moved from target to target, precise and fast. Missile strikes, energy beams, and tactical maneuvers destroyed every alien ship that remained in range. Within minutes, what had been a massive enemy fleet was nothing more than floating debris and broken engines. Jack Hill could hardly believe it. "It's over? All of it?" he asked, staring at the empty space where ships had been moments before. Ryan Cole nodded slowly. "They have done it." Every command ship, every major vessel, destroyed. Humanity has finished the fight before it could even start properly. The Coalition ships cheered quietly, though their voices were lost in space. They had been on the front lines for decades, watching their fleets destroyed day after day. Now they saw humans end the war in minutes. It was a feeling they could hardly describe. Relief, awe, fear, and hope all mixed together. John Carter felt a heavy weight lift from his shoulders. I never thought we would see this day," he said softly. "Humans, they've saved us. They've saved the galaxy." Lisa Morrow looked out at the battlefield, now quiet except for drifting debris. "They didn't just save us," she said. "They reminded everyone that humans are not weak, that we are not slow, that we cannot be defeated easily." Ethan Ross turned to his crew on the Valerian. "Check the systems," he ordered. "Make sure no alien ship survived. We do not leave loose ends. Humanity cannot afford mistakes." The crew moved efficiently. Sensors scanned the entire battlefield, detecting every piece of debris. Any damaged alien ship that could be repaired or salvaged was identified and neutralized. Nothing was left unchecked. Alex Turner watched quietly from the Sentinel. "They don't just fight," he said. "They finish the job. Every move is perfect, every attack is deadly, and they leave nothing behind for the enemy to recover." Jack Hill, still in his fighter, looked at the human ships moving as one massive fleet. "I've never felt this before," he said softly. "It's not just power, it's intelligence. It's like they see the battlefield differently than anyone else. The alien empire had been defeated completely. Their scouts, command ships, and fighters were all destroyed. The survivors fled to distant sectors, carrying news of the humans' arrival and their overwhelming power. The galaxy would remember this battle forever." John Carter turned to Lisa Morrow again. Do you think we will ever see anything like this again? He asked. Lisa shook her head slowly. Not like this, she said. Humans prepared for decades for this moment. They didn't arrive to fight half measures. They arrived to end the war. In the aftermath, the coalition ships moved among the debris. They salvaged what they could, repairing their own ships and taking note of the humans' advanced technology. Every officer on every ship was in awe of what they had witnessed. It was not just victory, it was a revelation. Ryan Cole studied the battlefield carefully. This changes everything, he said. The galaxy has underestimated humans for centuries. And now everyone knows the truth. Humans are not just another race. They are a force unlike any other. Emma Brooks addressed her crew after the battle. Today we have shown what humanity can do, she said, but this is not the end. There are other threats in the galaxy. We fight to protect, to prevent chaos, and to remind everyone that humans cannot be ignored. Jack Hill landed his fighter near the horizon. I've seen the humans in battle, he said quietly. I've seen what they are capable of. I don't know if I can ever see war the same way again. John Carter smiled faintly. We have all seen it, Jack, he said. And we will never forget it. Humanity has returned to the galaxy, and nothing will be the same again. Lisa Morrow looked at the floating remains of the alien fleet. They didn't just fight, she said. They showed everyone what happens when humans decide to act. We have hope now, and hope is stronger than any weapon. Ethan Ross gave one final order before his fleet withdrew from the battlefield. Return to formation, he said. We have done what was necessary. The enemy is gone. But humanity must be ready for the future. We do not wait for others to fight. We act.
Alex Turner watched the Valerian and the other human ships move away from the battlefield.
They are not just a fleet, he said. They are a statement. A warning. A promise. The galaxy will remember today. Jack Hill looked at the stars, feeling a strange mix of fear and admiration. I've seen what humans can do, he said softly. And I know we are lucky to have them here. Nothing will ever be the same again. John Carter turned to Lisa one last time before the humans left. They came from nowhere, destroyed the enemy, and left. Why? What drives them? Lisa smiled faintly. Discipline.
Planning.
And perhaps a will stronger than anyone else. Humans do not fight for glory.
They fight to end threats completely and decisively. That is why they are unstoppable.
The coalition fleet followed the humans as they left the battlefield. Every officer, every pilot, every soldier knew they had witnessed something historic. The aliens would never forget this day. The galaxy would never forget this day. Humanity had returned, not as a minor player, but as a dominant force. And as the human fleet moved into the distance, perfectly aligned and calm, everyone knew that the tide of the galaxy had changed forever. The battlefield was quiet now. Only drifting debris and floating remnants of alien ships remained. The coalition fleet moved carefully among the wreckage, repairing what they could and taking note of the humans' advanced technology. Every officer, every pilot, and every soldier felt the weight of what had just happened. Humanity had arrived. Humanity had won. And humanity had changed the galaxy forever. Captain John Carter of the Horizon stared out at the human fleet. It moved as one, precise and calm, like a river of steel gliding through space. I've never seen anything like this, he said softly to Lisa Morrow beside him. They didn't just win the battle, they controlled it from start to finish. Lisa nodded, her eyes still on the distant ships. They are not just warriors, she said. They are a force of nature. They don't fight for glory. They fight to end threats completely. That is why they are unstoppable. The humans began to slow their movement, forming a stable line in the center of the system. Their ships glimmered with energy, engines humming quietly. The coalition officers gathered to meet with the human leaders. Captain Ethan Ross, commanding the Valerian, floated into the central meeting chamber aboard the coalition flagship. His presence was calm yet commanding. Every human officer moved with quiet confidence, their discipline clear in every gesture. John Carter stepped forward, his voice steady but filled with awe. Captain Ross, we do not know how to thank you. We have fought for decades, and the enemy always seemed stronger. And then you arrived. In minutes, the war ended. Ethan Ross looked at him calmly. You do not need to thank us, he said. Humanity stayed quiet for a long time, watching, learning, preparing. We did not abandon the galaxy. We only waited until we could act decisively. The enemy needed to understand the humans cannot be ignored. Lisa Morrow stepped closer. But why now? Why appear at this moment? Why not earlier? Ethan's eyes were steady. Because timing is everything. If we arrived too early, we might have been overwhelmed. If we arrived too late, millions would have died unnecessarily. We waited until the moment we could end the war quickly and efficiently. That is how humans fight. Not with hesitation, not with half measures. Alex Turner, standing near the back of the group, nodded. "I've seen the battlefield," he said. "I've seen what your fleet can do. It is incredible. You destroyed the enemy completely, faster than anyone thought possible. How did you do it?" Ethan smiled faintly. Preparation, discipline, coordination. Technology helps, of course, but the most important factor is how we think. Every ship, every weapon, every officer knows their role. We move as one, and we strike with purpose. That is why we are able to defeat an enemy that seems unbeatable. Jack Hill, still amazed by the battle, stepped forward. "I've flown in hundreds of fights," he said. "I've never seen anything like your fleet. You don't just fight, you dominate the battlefield. How can humans do this?" Ethan looked at him. "We fight because we have no choice. We fight because we protect what we care about, and we fight because we have learned to use every resource at our disposal. Humans do not fear challenges. We face them, and we end them decisively." Ryan Cole studied the humans closely. "So this is your message to the galaxy," he said. "That humans are back and that no threat is too big for you?" Ethan nodded. "Exactly," he said. "We do not fight for conquest. We fight to prevent chaos, to protect, to ensure that no threat grows unchecked. But make no mistake, we are a force to be reckoned with. Every enemy will learn that humans fight decisively and without mercy when necessary." The Coalition officers felt a mixture of relief and awe. For decades they had believed humanity had abandoned the galaxy. Now they understood the truth. Humans had been preparing quietly, learning, growing stronger. And now the galaxy knew. Humans were a dominant force, and they had returned. John Carter looked out at the stars. "It is incredible," he said softly. "We were losing hope, and now the war is over. And the humans, they have shown us what it means to fight without fear." "Yes," she said, "and they have reminded the galaxy why humans cannot be underestimated. The enemy believed we were weak. Now every corner of the galaxy knows we are not." Meanwhile, the remaining alien forces had retreated to distant systems carrying stories of the humans' power. Their fleets had been destroyed, their command ships obliterated, and their pilots in shock. For the first time, they understood that humans were not just another species. They were a force unlike any other. Emma Brooks addressed her crew on the Valerian. "We have done what we can to do," she said. "The enemy is gone. The Coalition knows we are here. The galaxy knows we are back. But this is not the end. There will always be threats. Humanity must remain ready. We act not for glory, but to protect and to prevent future wars from escalating. That is our duty." Jack Hill, still in awe, shook his head. "I don't think I will ever forget this," he said softly. "We've been fighting for years, thinking humans had abandoned us, and now we see what they can do." "It is terrifying and beautiful." Ethan Ross watched the Coalition ships carefully. "We do not interfere with their fleets unnecessarily," he said. "We help where needed, we protect, and we guide. But the galaxy must understand that humans fight with precision and intelligence. That is the message we bring. We do not attack for conquest. We attack to end threats completely." Ryan Cole looked at the humans, understanding for the first time the depth of their power. "They are not just a fleet," he said quietly. "They are a statement. They are a warning. The galaxy must learn that humans are not to be underestimated." The Coalition officers began to discuss their future plans with the humans. Ships would be repaired, alliances strengthened, and strategies learned. Every human officer was willing to share guidance and training, but only enough to prevent future disasters, never to hand over their full strength. Humanity had learned long ago that caution was necessary, even in victory. John Carter turned to Lisa Morrow. "Do you think we will see humans fight like this again?" he asked. Lisa shook her head slowly. "Not unless necessary," she said. "Humans do not fight for sport or glory. They fight when the situation demands total action. They will intervene only when there is no other option. That is why they are so dangerous to any enemy." Alex Turner looked out at the calm, perfectly aligned human fleet. "They move like one mind," he said quietly. "One purpose, one goal. Nothing can stop them when they decide to act." Jack Hill looked at the horizon and whispered, "I've never felt hope like this before." And yet, I feel fear too. Fear of what happens if humans ever fight against us. They are unstoppable. Ethan Ross addressed the coalition one last time. Remember what you have seen, he said. Remember that humanity fights decisively, that we protect and act intelligently, and that we are here to end threats quickly. The galaxy has been reminded of humanity's power. Use this lesson wisely and never underestimate the humans again. As the human fleet began to move away, the coalition officers stood silently. They watched the massive ships disappear into the distance, leaving a galaxy forever changed. The alien empire would rebuild, but it would remember the cost of underestimating humans. Every system, every fleet, every pilot would hear the story of how humanity returned, ending a war in moments that had lasted decades. John Carter finally spoke softly. "We have witnessed history," he said. "Not just victory, but the return of a power unlike anything the galaxy has ever known." Lisa Morrow nodded. "And we are lucky to have them on our side," she said. "They fight not for themselves, but for everyone who cannot fight alone. That is humanity's greatest strength. That is why we survive." Ryan Cole studied the stars where the humans had disappeared. "The message is clear," he said. "Humanity is back. They are stronger, smarter, and faster than anyone imagined, and they will not be ignored again." Jack Hill turned to his fellow pilots. "I've seen the future," he said, "and it looks different. Humans are here, and the galaxy will never be the same again." Emma Brooks, looking at her crew, smiled faintly. "We do not celebrate," she said. "We act. We prepare, and we protect." That is what humans do. But today we have reminded the galaxy of our presence. Today humanity has returned. As the coalition fleet continued their repairs and preparations, the humans moved quietly through space, leaving a trail of calm but undeniable power. They did not boast. They did not celebrate. They acted with purpose, patience, and intelligence. And the galaxy watched, knowing that humans had returned, not as a weak race, but as a dominant force, ready to protect, to act, and to end threats decisively whenever they appeared. And so, the story of humanity's return spread throughout the galaxy. The alien empire would never forget the day when humans appeared, destroyed their fleet, and disappeared just as quickly. The coalition would never forget the hope humans had brought. And every system, every officer, every pilot would carry the memory of that decisive power for generations. Humanity was back. The galaxy had learned its lesson, and nothing would ever be the same again.